window. All the online students can respond in the chat window. Okay, right. Let's complete on that. So our main requirement is need to begin write in a program in Selenium WebDriver, right? So our actual target is we have to take care about in writing with the program in Selenium WebDriver. But to write in a program in the Selenium or to get work with the WebDriver, we have been taking care about in working with the two things here. In that, the first one we have to take care about object identification, and the second thing we are taking care about core Java syntax here. Once we got comfortable with object identification and then core Java syntax, that will make you more comfortable and it will make you more easy to write in a program in Selenium. Further, because of that, we have been taking care about in identifying with the object or which we will be considering the element here, right? So we have been taking care about in identifying with the object that we are considering the element here. Okay. So now let's see that how we can work with these particular things. Further, our very first understanding while working with Selenium, if we want to begin identify the object, how we are identifying the objects in Selenium? How we are identifying the objects in Selenium? The very first thing we are taking with the help of HTML code here. To get that particular HTML code, we have been taking care about using with the option that it will be considering the inspect option. We have been taking care about taking this particular one, considering that which we will be taking with inspect. Working, while working this particular inspect option, while working this particular inspect option, which we will be taking with the help of 8 types of techniques, or we can considering that taking with the help of 8 types of options here. In that, the one we have been taking care about, the one we have been taking care about in considering the name. Another one, ID. After that, class. After that, XPath. After that, what is it? Tag name. After that, CSS. After that, link text. What is the last one? Which we will be considering the partial link text, which need to be get considering the partial link text here. Okay. So now while working with the whole Selenium automation, while working with the whole Selenium automation, you can work with any application. You can identify any object with the help of the Selenium. We need to be get taking care about working with these particular 8 types of options here. In that, in particular 8 type of options, in this particular 8 type of options, working with name and then ID and then class. Working with name and then ID and then class. following with the same step. Nothing but we need to begin taking with the help of HTML code. It's not like any major things we are doing, taking with the help of HTML code here. Once you refer HTML code, in that particular HTML code, you are looking into that, is there any name option? In case of name is available, it will be using name option. In case of ID available, it will be using ID option. In case of class, it will be trying with class option. But there is no restriction or there is no condition in utilizing with the options here. Identifying with the object, identifying the object is our target. Identifying the object is our target. Which option we have to use it, which technique we have to use it, that will depends on tester comfortable. Based on, based on tester comfortable, which will be taking with the help of that particular respective options here. So this is, we are taking with our regular options here. Okay. Now, considering that, mentioning that in case of any of these three options, in case of any of these three options are not working, in case of any of these three options are not working, then it will be taking with the help of another option. What is it? Considering the X path. We have a possibility in working with X path here. If we consider this particular one, if we get consider this particular one, need to be get considering the taking with X path. The very first understanding. What is the meaning of X path? Meaning of X path? Group of nodes. The meaning of X path. The meaning of X path, we are considering the group of nodes here. The very first understanding, the very first understanding. If we considering with, if we considering with this particular X path, we can considering that, or we can mention that group of nodes. Okay. Now, what exactly the meaning of node here? Considering with the X path, we are mentioning that when you are grouping or when you are combining the nodes, it can be two nodes, it will consider as X path. It can be 100 nodes, it will be considering an X path here. But what exactly, what exactly meaning of node here? What exactly the meaning of node is, which will be considering that, which will be considering that in between of less than and greater than symbol. The meaning of this particular statement, the meaning of this particular statement, considering that the meaning of this particular statement, considering that, I can see here, doing with inspect, you're getting the HTML code. In the HTML code, got the less than symbol here? At the same time, having the greater than symbol. Now, in between of less than symbol and greater than symbol, we can consider one particular node. In simple way, in a very simple way, we can considering that this is one particular node. In a very simple way, each and every line. Now we can
Recording in
considering
progress.
that this is one particular node, this is one particular node, this is one node, this is one node. Almost each and every line, each and every line, we can considering that one particular node here. Each and every particular line, we can considering that one particular node. Okay. Now, see the steps here. If we consider X path, if we get considering X path, we need to be get mentioning the group of nodes. Okay. While working this particular X path, while working this particular X path, we got an understanding of while working this particular X path, we got an types of X path. What are the types of X path? Considering the two types in that. What is the first one? Absolute X path. What is the second one? Relative X path. One will be considering the absolute X path, another one considering the relative X path. Meaning of absolute X path? Considering that in case of X path has been started with, in case of X path has been starts with, I mean started with HTML tag. In case of X path has been started with HTML tag. Considering that, what do you consider? What we are considering? Absolute X path. I mean, how we'll get X path? We'll look into that. When we are referring the X path, in that particular X path, if anything started with the tag name of HTML, in the starting, if we got a tag name of HTML, then we are considering the absolute X path. In case of relative, meaning of relative, starts with attribute, which you can considering the starts with attribute, or sometime you can considering the unique attribute. So the meaning of relative X path, considering the starts with attribute, or we can considering the unique attribute. Okay. Now to work with the X path, we got different type of the options. Requirement is if we want to be get identify the object with the help of the name. From where we are getting the name information? From where we are getting that name information? Considering that HTML code. We are referring the HTML code. By referring the HTML code, we are understanding what is the name of that particular text box. In a similar way, we need to be get XPath. For example, this is username text box. We have to recognize username text box with the help of absolute XPath. We need to be get identify username text box with the help of absolute XPath. So how we can get absolute XPath? Let's see here. For that, as simple as taking with the help of doing with right click and then taking with inspect. Once they've done inspect, having the HTML code, okay. Is that, do we need to refer all the HTML code? We got the HTML code. Do we require to refer all the HTML code? No, it doesn't require. It is giving HTML code, but not required to refer the whole HTML code here. Now, we need to be taking care about highlighted one. We need to be taking care about highlighted one. The one which has been highlighted, we have to refer on that. Okay. Once you refer highlighted one, able to see some small dotted symbol here in the starting, having the dotted symbol or not? Online students, able to see dotted symbol or not? Online students, now see that we got in a dotted symbol. Just click on that. Once you click on that, you will get your favorite option. What is your favorite option? One more favorite option. One more laddu will be there. No. What is it? What is option we got? Copy XPath. We got two things here. Two different laddus are there here. One is copy XPath. Another one, copy full XPath. One is copy XPath. Another one is copy full XPath. Meaning of copy full XPath. Meaning of copy full XPath. Considering that absolute XPath. The meaning of copy full XPath. If we click on copy full XPath, it will generate absolute XPath. What is the meaning of absolute XPath? Starts with HTML tag. Okay. At the same time, what is another option? Copy XPath. Another option, considering the copy XPath. This particular copy XPath, we are considering the relative XPath. Meaning of relative XPath? Starts with attribute. Okay, let's look into that. First, let's me take the option copy full XPath. I'm just clicking on it. XPath will be copied. And you can paste it. I can see that you will be able to see that all the group of nodes here. and you can see the starting. What it has been started? What it has been started? HTML. Meaning of absolute XPath. What is the meaning of absolute XPath? Starts with HTML tag. The tag itself, it has been started with HTML. Then we can understand that. We can confirm that when you're referring the XPath, if it is started with HTML, you can confirm that. Okay, this is what considering that. This is what considering that absolute XPath. Okay. Next, let me try with considering the relative XPath. Okay. So the same thing. Anything you can try on it. Clicking on that, using the option is copy. From there, what is option? What is it? Copy XPath. Using with the option that will be considered copy XPath here. Okay. So which will be considering that? Which will be considering that copy XPath here. Okay. So now you can see that considering that providing this particular one, mentioning about having with attribute, the meaning of relative XPath. What is the meaning of relative XPath? Starts with attribute. What is the meaning of attribute? Meaning of attribute, equal symbol. Meaning of the attribute, equal symbol. Now we can see that having with the equal symbol here, working with ID attribute, started with ID attribute. It's not like in a magic here. What XPath is doing? What is the attribute we got here? ID. What is that ID? Table underscore 01. You can refer the HTML code. Somewhere you will be able to see that ID. Having that ID. So it has been started here. It was grouping all these particular nodes. That is what we are considering. That XPath is nothing but group of nodes. XPath is nothing but considering that group of nodes here. Let me try with another option. Let me try with another object here. Okay. Now let's cross check on that. Let's cross check on that. Now we can see here, taking with password text box, doing the right click. What is option? What is option? Inspect. Once you've done inspect, having the highlighted line, getting highlighted on line or not? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Having the dotted symbol, click on that. What is option? Copy. From the copy full XPath. Meaning of copy full XPath? What is it? Absolute XPath. Meaning of absolute XPath? Meaning of absolute XPath starts with HTML tag. Say that. Started with HTML tag. Okay. So any XPath, whenever you are referring with the XPath, in case of XPath has been started with HTML, in case of XPath has been started with HTML, then we can consider that. Then we can considering that absolute XPath. Okay. After that, let me try on it. Let me try relative XPath. Let me try relative XPath. Now we can see here. Considering that, doing with right click and then taking with inspect here. Okay. Now considering that, taking with dotted symbol and then having with copy. From here, utilizing the option of copy XPath. Meaning of copy XPath? What is it? Relative XPath. Meaning of the relative X path? Meaning of relative X path? Considering that starts with attribute here. So that is how it will be taking with the X path. So don't be confused here. As simple as when you're having the group of people, we have to recognize one particular person. To recognize one particular person, by default, it will be calling the person with the name. If you are getting that person, no issues at all. I mean, if you got only unique person with name, no problem. In case of multiple people with the same name, it will try with first name, last name, or initial, surname. Different options it will be trying it. The same thing we are followed in automation. While working automation, while working automation, we need to be get recognize that particular object in the application. In the application, we need to be get recognize that particular object here. To recognize that particular object, we can try with different option. You may get in a doubt, sir, username text box already name is available. Why you are trying with the X path? Don't be confused at all. Don't be confused at all. As part of the learning, as part of the learning, we are trying to understand that. We are trying to understand that what are the different options are available and how we can work with that particular option. As simple as how we are understanding here. In case of need to be work with the name, you have to refer that particular HTML code. Working with ID, you have to refer HTML code. Working with XPath, you are taking with copy XPath, or considering that copy full XPath. I mean, as a tester, we are trying to understand that how we can work with different options in real time. In real time, which option we have to use it, that depends on tester comfortable. Not like mandatory of need to be try with all the options here. We can try with any of the option. You can try with any of the option here. You can utilize any option. Doesn't make any problem. But as part of interview, as part of learning, we have to comfortable how we can work this particular option. So now the understanding is we got an X path. What is the meaning of the X path? Meaning of X path, group of nodes. How many types of X path? How many types? Two types. What are those? Absolute X path and relative X path. Meaning of absolute X path starts with HTML tag. Meaning of relative X path starts with attribute here. Now assume that you tried with these option. If that is working, no issues at all. You are working with absolute X path or you are working with relative X path. If those are working, no issues at all. If it is not working, there may be a chances. In case of these two options also not working, in case of these two options also not working, right? So in case of these two options also not working, we can try with another option here. Okay, let's see that. Oh, right. You can say that. Now, in case of these two options also not working, then we can try with another option. I mean, XPath only. In a XPath, how many types we got? How many types we got? Two types here. You're trying to get work with those particular one, right? So need to be get work with those particular one. In case of these things are not working, you tried with absolute XPath, you tried with relative XPath. If these options also not working, in a XPath only, we can try with some more options here. That is, have a heading, take with the heading, mention the XPath with attributes. Don't be confused at all. We got two types of XPath only. One is absolute XPath, another one is relative XPath. In case of those two XPath are not working, under relative XPath, we can try with one more option that will be considering the XPath with attributes. Considering with one more option that will be mentioning the XPath with attributes here. Okay. Now, while working XPath with attributes, under this, we got in a different option. Considering the XPath with single attribute and then XPath with multiple attribute and then XPath with, okay, single attribute, multiple attribute, and then considering the text attribute, and then considering the contains, and then mentioning the XPath with starts with. So while working attributes, under attributes, we got in a different options. Considering the single attribute, multiple attribute, and then text attribute, and then contains, and then starts with. Okay. Just make a note of these things. Online students also, Make a note of these things. So don't be confused at all here. XPath is two types only. In case of those two options are not working, under relative XPath only, we got in a one more option considering the XPath with attributes. While working attributes, we got in a some more options considering the single attribute, multiple attribute, text attribute, and then contains, and then considering that starts with here. Okay. Okay, right. So now let's understand one by one how we can work with these options here. Let's see that. What is the first option? What is the first? Considering the XPath with single attribute. See the heading here. In the name itself, we can understand. It is clearly mentioning the XPath with single attribute. Meaning of single? Not married. Single means not married, sir. Meaning of single? Considering that one, right? So the meaning of single considering that one. See the heading. What is the heading we got? XPath with single attribute. What is the meaning of attribute? Meaning of attribute. What is that? Having equal symbol, not like starts with equal symbol. Meaning of attribute, considering that having the equal symbol, we can consider attribute. Which attribute we have to use? That will depends on the requirement. Which attribute we have to use? That will depends on the requirement. But we have to utilize one particular attribute considering the single attribute here. Okay, let's see here. Let's consider on that. Further, previously we done the copy option here. I mean, automatically the text path has been generating. There we got Laddu here. But now there is no Laddu here. We have to write the XPath because different possibilities are there. Even relative XPath, absolute XPath also. Once you guys become in a more comfortable on working with the object identification, that relative XPath or absolute XPath also, we can write it by our own. We can write it manually. That based on your practice, you can understand that. Now, while working attribute, we have to write the XPath. So how we can write that XPath? See that. For that, first is we have to mention two forward slashes. First is you need to be provide two forward slashes. First, you have to provide two forward slashes. After that, considering the HTML tag name, considering the HTML tag name, and then square brackets. First is 2 forward slashes. Next, what we have to provide? HTML tag name. Meaning of HTML tag name? Meaning of HTML tag name? Having less than symbol. As simple. Anything having the less than symbol, we can consider that is an HTML tag. Okay. Now, considering the square brackets, after that, symbol, symbol, considering the attribute type equal to in a single code, considering the attribute value, considering the attribute value here. Okay, done. Now, this is the syntax we have to follow. I mean, this is the syntax we need to follow considering like format. I mean, the best example of manual testing. You written cases, you followed specific template here. Who will create the templates? Who will create the templates? Test lead. So test lead already creating the template. According to the template, you guys are writing the test cases. Here also, rather than test lead, already Selenium guys has been providing some template here. But rather than calling as a template, according to the programming terminology, we are considering the syntax here. As part of automation terminology or programming terminology, we are considering as a syntax. We are not writing our own thing. Already Selenium guys has been provided the respective syntax. We are following that particular respective syntax here. So according to this, let me try for clear button. Anything you can, any object you can identify followed with the same. Let me take right click here. Doing with, what is option? Inspect. Okay. Having the HTML code, having the highlighted line, right. We are not worried about remaining things here. So we are not worried about taking with the remaining HTML code. We have to refer only highlighted one. Let's see here. First is 2 forward slashes. What is the next syntax here? HTML tag name. You guys can refer HTML code. What is the tag name we got? What is the tag name we got? Input here, which you will be taking with the tag name that you will be considering the input here. Okay. After that, square brackets, and then symbol. What is the next syntax? Attribute type equal to attribute value. Okay. Refer the HTML code. See that what are the attributes are available. What are the attributes we got? Type is one attribute. Another one is name is one more attribute. Another one is value. Another one class. Another one tab index. Lot of attributes are there. Which one need to be used? Again, it will depends on tester. These are the attributes are available. Which attribute we have to use it? That will depends on the tester. Based on the tester comfortable, need to be get utilize that particular attribute. Let me try here. What is the tag name we got? input. Okay. As it is, you have to write that input. Okay. And then, sorry, you're already written, right? We required attribute type. Let me try with value attribute. I'm taking that particular value. Okay. So what is the attribute we have? Value. I'm trying with value. No, sir, I'll try with name. You can utilize it based on your comfortable. Based on your comfortable. So that you will be mentioning that value is clear. So this is what you will be writing the X path. But we return the X path. Once we write the X path, we have to confirm that either this X path has been correct or not. We written the X path, but we required a confirmation either this X path has been correct or not. For that, see the understanding. As it is, you can copy it. As it is, you can copy it. Go to HTML code only. Go to HTML code only. Now from keyboard, you can press Control F. From the keyboard, you can press Control F. Okay. Getting one text box here. You can see that. Let me click on cancel. I'm clicking on cancel here. Text box is not done. From keyboard, what do we have to press? What is it? Control F. Okay. Getting the text box? Okay. Now here, provide the XPath. Whatever the XPath you written, it can provide that XPath. Now what it can do is, refer application, not HTML code. You guys can refer the application. I'm clicking on enter button. Let me click on it. Once I click on enter button, you guys can refer the application. Anything highlighted in the application? In the application, anything highlighting or not? What is highlighting? Which one is highlighting? Clear button. Then you can confirm that your XPath has been. What you will confirm? Your XPath has been correct. See here. I'm clicking on the enter button. The clear button is highlighting it. The clear button is highlighting. For example, I'll remove this bracket. I'll click on enter. Anything highlighting in the application? Anything highlighting in the application? No. What you can consider? Your XPath is not like correct. Somewhere it got an issue here. So this is how you can confirm that. This is how you can confirm that whether we written correct XPath or not. In a similar way, let me try for. In a similar way, let me try for delete button. Let me try for this particular login button. Now, this is clear button. We got login. Let me take right click. What is option? What is option? Inspect. Just click on inspect. Getting the HTML code? Having the HTML code or not? Now we can see. Let me write on it. Let me write this. What is the syntax we have to follow? First is 2 forward slashes. After that, what is it? HTML tag name. What is the tag name we got? What is the tag name? Input. Online students. All the online students need to be respond in the chat window. All the online students, please respond in the chat window. Be active in the sessions. Don't go for tea or coffee, anything here. See that. What is the HTML tag we got? Input. Okay. As it is, You have to write it. You have to very careful capital letters and small letters. Everything is case sensitive. Everything is case sensitive. You need to be very careful with capital letters and small letters. Okay. Considering the square brackets and then at the rate symbol. What is the next syntax here? Attribute type equal to attribute value. Refer the highlighted line. What are the attributes we got? Type attribute, name attribute, value attribute, class attribute, tab index. Which attribute we can use? Okay. We can try with anything. We can try with any attribute. Let me try with the name attribute. Let me try on the name attribute. We can utilize anything. Considering the name equal to in a single code provided. Need to be cross-checked that whether it is correct or not. Need to be cross-checked that whether it is correct or not. To cross-check that it is correct or not, it will be taking with the help of HTML code. Now here from keyboard, what do we have to press? What do we have to press? Control F. Okay. Providing the HTML code. Sorry, XPath. Now I'll click on enter. Refer the application. Anything highlighting? In the application, what is highlighting? Which one is highlighting? Login here. As login is highlighting, we can confirm that is correct only. Okay. So this is how you need to be continued. Any XPath, same concept only. Any XPath, same concept only. Let me try for password text box. Let me try for password text box. Can you guys write this? You can see this HTML code. According to this, can you guys write the XPath? Just try it. You can write it. Write the XPath. Write XPath with single attribute. This is the HTML code. You're already having the syntax. According to the syntax, just write that single attribute. Online students also write the single attribute for that HTML code. Just try it. Just try it. Because you have to take all this practice. You have to take all this practice. In the interviews, there is a chance they will give this kind of some HTML code. And those guys will be asking that write an XPath. By referring the HTML code, you need to be get comfortable. By writing the HTML code, you need to be get comfortable in writing that particular respective XPath here. Okay, let's see here. So the concept is very simple. First, what you have to provide? First, what you will write? 2 forward slashes. After that, input, which you will be taking with input, square brackets. After that, at the rate symbol. After that, you can try with anything. As multiple attributes, as no more attributes are there, you can try with anything. Let me try with name only. Let me try with name only here. Okay, see that. giving with name equal to in a single code, providing the txt password. Okay, let me try on this. Let me try on this whether it is working or not. Considering that, control F, providing that. Now we can see. If we click on enter, anything highlighting? Anything highlighting or not? Which one is highlighting? Which one is highlighting? Password text box. It is highlighting the password text box. By that, we can confirm that our XPath has been correct. In a similar way, we need to be get continued. In a similar way, we can continue all other techniques also. Considering that this is what mentioning that XPath with single attribute. Okay. What is the next one? What is the next one? XPath with multiple attribute. See that. Another one. XPath with multiple attribute. XPath with multiple attribute. See that. Considering that XPath with multiple attribute. This is very simple. Meaning of single? Meaning of single? One. Meaning of multiple? Meaning of multiple? Many. Considering that more than one. Meaning of multiple, considering that more than one. But how many? It depends on requirement. Meaning of multiple, it is mentioning that more than one here, but not like considering that mandatory of 3 or mandatory of 10 or mandatory of 50. As simple as considering that, as simple as considering that more than one. But how many need to use it? That depends on tester comfortable. Syntax is very simple. Considering that 2 forward slashes and then HTML tag name. Considering that HTML tag name. Okay. And then square brackets. Considering that square brackets. After that, @ considering that attribute type equal to in a single code, considering that attribute value. But see the technique. What is the name of the technique? What is the name of the technique? Multiple attribute. The meaning is how many attributes you want to be get added. How many attributes you want to be get added. You need to be take that many square brackets. How many attributes you want to be get added. You need to be take that many square brackets. So how many you want to be add? We can take that many square brackets. Considering that attribute type equal to mentioning that attribute value. Mentioning that particular attribute type and then mentioning the attribute value. That is a syntax need to be followed. That is a syntax need to be get followed to get work with XPath with attributes. That is a syntax need to be get followed XPath with attributes. Let me try on it. Now, let me try with password only. Doing with right click and then taking with inspect here. What is the tag name we got? What is the tag name? Input. As it is, we will be writing it. 2 forward slashes and then considering the input @ we have to get attributes. What are the attributes we got? Name attribute, type attribute, class attribute, index, tab index. You can try with multiple, more than one. You can try with a number of attributes. For example, I'm taking with type equal to in a single code, providing it. Again, square bracket, one more, at the rate symbol, name equal to, providing that particular name here. You can add in any order. That doesn't make any problem. You can add in any order. That doesn't make any problem. You can try with, you can try with any order. It doesn't make any problem, but you have to take care about in providing that particular attributes here. So as part of requirement, as part of the requirement, you can add with n number of attributes. As part of the requirement, you can try with n number of attributes. Doesn't make any problem. But again, don't be confused. Sir, already single attribute is working. Why we have to take multiple attribute? Here, as part of the learning, we are looking into all the options here. Because we are consider automation tester, it's not like in future, once he gotten a job, is that he will be working only one project? Is that he will automate only one application? No. You may try with in automating different type of application. In some application, single attribute may be working, may not be working. In some application, multiple attribute will be working, may not working. But everything trial and error only. Until unless you are working on it, we doesn't know what is the option we have to use it. Because of that, as part of the learning, as part of the automation tester, we are taking care about in learning with all the possibilities. We are trying with all the possibilities. Let me say that whether it is correct or not. Okay. Now, considering that, Control F, providing that, clicking on enter. Which one is highlighting? Which one is highlighting? Password here. As password is highlighting, we can consider that that is correct only. So this is how you can come up with writing with different type of the XPath. We are having the possibility in working with different type of XPath. For example, the same thing you want to be try for username text box. Same concept will be applied. The same concept will be applied. Taking with inspect. Now, let's see here. This is HTML code. Okay. Now we can see here, considering that two forward slashes. Now, if I get mentioned this, now see that. If we look into this, what is the tag name we got? What is the tag name? Input. Whatever it may be, we are not worried about what are the tag names are available and not required to remember all the tag names also. We are not worried at all. Whatever tag name has been provided, you are just mentioning the same tag name as it is. Maki to Maki how to provide. It's mandatory. As it is, you have to provide. Okay. Considering the input. Square brackets, at the rate symbol. Okay, let's see that. See the attributes. What are the attributes we got? Name attribute, type attribute, class attribute, tab index. Okay, let me try with name. Let me try with name. Okay, considering the name equal to providing that particular attribute. Okay, next this is multiple attribute. We need to be get add one more square bracket. Need to be get add one more square bracket. Okay, again using at the rate symbol, let me try with one more attribute. Let me try with type attribute only. Let me try with type attribute only. That considering that type in a single code, we have to provide it. Okay, let me try on this. Now, what is the name of this technique? What is the name of this technique? XPath with XPath with multiple attribute. Meaning of multiple? Meaning of multiple? More than one. Okay. Now we can see here. So considering that, providing that, let's cross check. From keyboard, what we have to press? Control F. Okay. Providing that. Providing that. Then need to be get provide that. Now we can see here. Let me click on enter. Which one is highlighting? In the application, which one is highlighting? Which text box is highlighting? Login text box. Nothing but username text box is highlighting. So by that, we can confirm that. We can confirm that our XPath has been correct. We can confirm that our XPath has been correct. So this is how we got a possibility working with single attribute and then multiple attribute. Single attribute, any one attribute, multiple attribute, more than one, but everything based on the highlighted line. We are not worried about remaining things here. In the HTML code, whatever it is highlighting, in the HTML code, whatever it is highlighting, you have to take care about those particular one. Okay, right. So now similar to this, we need to be get work with another technique. What is it? What is another one? Considering the XPath with text attribute. Considering the XPath with text attribute. See the name here. In the name itself, we can understand. What is the name of the technique? What is the name of the technique? XPath with text attribute. Okay, let's see here. Let's see that when we have to use it. Okay, let's consider when we have to work these kind of techniques. When we have to work this kind of technique. Okay. Now you can see here. In the top, able to see the text of welcome Naresh IT? In the top, welcome Naresh IT. The text is available. Okay. Let me do right click. What is option? What is it? Inspect. Okay. Now we can see here. Refer highlighted line. Is there any name option? In the highlighted line, any name option? Any name attribute? No. Any ID option? No. Any class option? Yes or no? Name is available? No. ID available? No. Class available? No. Then what we have to work? What is it? XPath. Okay. But XPath also We can try with XPath. But when you consider attribute, what is the meaning of attribute? Meaning of attribute having equal symbol. In the highlighted line, any attribute is available? Any attribute is available? Yes or no? No. There is no attributes at all. See the understanding. Name is not available. ID is not available. Class is not available. Attributes also not available. But what is available? What is available? Text is available. What is the text we got? What is the text we got? Welcome Naresh IT. It can be any text. It doesn't make any problem. But text is available. Then we can work on it. See here. See here how we can do that. The very slight difference in the syntax. Two forward slashes and then HTML tag name square brackets. No at the rate symbol. No at the rate symbol. Text bracket equal to in a single code. In a single code, we have to provide text details. We have to provide text details here. Let's see that. According to this, two forward slashes. See the tag name. What is the tag name? What is the tag name? LI. Whatever it can be, we are not worried. Whatever it is, we have to provide. Taking the tag name is LI. Square brackets. Considering the text bracket equal to in a single code, we have to provide it. Let's see that whether it is working or not. Let's see that whether it is working or not. So taking with from keyboard, what we have to press? Control F. See that. Refer the application. Refer the application. I'm clicking on enter. Anything highlighting? Highlighting or not? Which one is highlighting? Welcome Naresh IT. So this is how we can confirm that. This is how we can confirm that working with XPath with text attribute. I mean, as part of automation, we are trying to understand that how we can identify the object. What are all different ways are there to identify the object? So in that one we got single attribute, multiple attribute, text attribute, and then contains and starts with. So what you guys can do is like this, try to take the more practice here. Take with the more practice, it will make you comfortable while writing our actual program. We are pending about contains and starts with that we have to discuss. By that, we'll be completing with the whole XPath. Then we'll complete remaining other four techniques. Those are very small things. Those are very small things that will complete. By that, we'll be completing with object identification, or we can consider in the element locators. So then we'll be getting started with your favorite subject. What is it? Java here. So we have to start with Java. So maximum in the next session, I mean on Monday. Tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. Take the rest for tomorrow. And from Monday, taking with completing this, and we'll start with the core Java concepts. After that, we'll be getting started with our actual program of Selenium. But in the meanwhile, take care about the practice. Please spend with the time into the practice here. Okay? Clear? Carry on. Thank you. Online students, if we have any questions, you can wait. Mm. ఇప్పుడు మనకు కంట్రోల్ F ఉంది కదా, HTML KD మనకు ఏదో ఒక దాంతో హైలైట్ అయితే అది కరెక్ట్ అయిపోతుంది అంతే, ఎనీ వన్ అంతే అది. Equal to the format. I mean, some specific format need to be followed to perform that respective activity. Okay.
Somewhere, sir, double equal to symbol is there, sir.
That is the syntax we have to follow. I mean, according to XPath, whenever you want to write an XPath, we are following with the syntax of getting started with the 2 forward slashes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Take care about with the practice. Spend with the more time on practice.
Sir, one last question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when do we use this XPath with text attributes, sir? Only when we are identifying text on the web page?
No, very simple. When you refer the HTML code, if there is no attributes are not available, but able to see some text, then you will be working with that particular technique. It can be any object.
It can be any object. Okay,
sir. Can be any object. If no attributes are not available, we can try with that particular technique. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Happy weekend.
Yeah.
సార్ ఎక్స్పాత్ లో మల్టిపుల్ అట్రిబ్యూట్స్ అంటే అది యూజ్ చేసే బదులు ఒకేసారి మనము ఆ ఫుల్ పాత్ ని కాపీ చేస్తే పోతుంది కదా సార్, అంటే ఈజీ వే కదా సార్ అది. ఇంకా
దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ క్లియర్లీ సేయింగ్. నౌ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వర్కింగ్, ఓకే. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ వర్కింగ్, వాట్ యూ విల్ డూ? Assume that you are working with application, you tried with copy XPath only, but the technique is not working. Then what you will do? You require some another option. So these are the another option. I'm clearly saying that as part of the learning, we are trying to learning what are the possible options are there. I'm giving all the possible options here. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
As we having HTML code in there are less than greater than sign, which is HTML tag.
Correct.
And we are writing the XPath. There is no less than greater than tag sign.
No. It is started with the less than symbol only, right?
Okay.
That's it. Whatever HTML code, I mean, once you've done the inspect, what you are able to see that everything is considering as a HTML code only. Okay. Okay. Right.
Sir, this HTML code is written by this developer, na?
Developers,
So-
we are not worried about all those things.
It means these are already correct. Means we are not worried about it is wrong or
No, we are not worried about on that. That we are not testing it.
Okay. Sir, in today and yesterday we discuss only the symbol. Text box, and one is button.
No. As an example, I have been taken text box and button. It can be anything, concept will be the same. It can be
Okay.
any object, concept will be the same.
Concept
Okay.
is same. There is
Yes.
no. Okay.
No.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay.
how we can confirm absolute XPath and relative XPath are not working?
So trial and error only. When you are
Okay.
working with the application, we have to cross check that. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how we are going to implement all these in our testing?
That you will understand. That is what I'm clearly saying, right? That you will understand in the coming session. I clearly mentioned that our target is to write in a WebDriver program. Before writing that program, first we are coming up with all these things here. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.